If you've opened any news app lately, you've probably seen the fearful headlines, the end of the US dollar. While for the time being, it is simply fear-mongering, it does create some valid debate topic and economic unknowns going into the future. For over 100 years, the US dollar has been the reserve currency for the world. Having such a strong economy, it made sense for smaller countries to have reserves of US dollar for international trade and volatility protection. Despite this, nothing lasts forever and the world is evolving. The first reason we are starting to see countries strive away from the US dollar is the advancement in technology, thus giving them more liquidity. When you think about it, it's easier to transfer money without having to hold US dollar to stabilize it now. With applications, the internet, even just transferring money from your smartphone, the technological advancements have exponentially grown, giving countries the freedom to have more say in how they transfer money. Long are the days where we had to physically move fiat currency and exchange dollar for dollar in very large and heavy increments. Another one of these reasons are that emerging markets are becoming larger now and no longer just a minuscule little blip on the map. Some of these countries, whether third world, first world, or just developing, have become very strong economies at this point, and now they bring much more value than what they did back in the day, so it makes sense that their currency would have more value and they want to use it and capitalize on it. You think of places like China even 30, 40 years ago, no one saw it as a global powerhouse. But now, look at all the products you buy. Flip that tag around, it's probably coming from overseas. Another reason we're seeing this is countries are looking for freedom to break away from sanctions. The war in Russia and Ukraine have created limitations on who can transact with who due to sanctions. Despite your views on the matter, it seems that countries are looking to strive away from US dollar to make transactions overall easier from country to country. This begins to come down to the G7, the G20, and the segregation that they have created between what is now known as BRICS countries. Many of these countries' GDPs have aggressively grown to where together they are a powerhouse of the world's exports. Many other countries have been in discussion on joining this group, from separating from the US dollar and dependency on the US for much of their financial holdings and transactions. This creates better diversification as well as an alternative option for those who believe in the gold-backed standard. BRICS have been in the discussion of creating a new currency system that goes back to older times, when the value of the dollar is decided by the gold-backed standards. Many countries have been buying and storing gold at the fastest rate since the 1950s because of this. Looking at it from a macro scale, it has been seen that about every 100 years, the standard currency switches. But at this point, 9% of the world transactions still use the US dollar. So the US dollar is unlikely to be dethroned anytime soon. Despite this, high debts in the US have created fears that the US dollar will crumble to more traditional gold-backed standard approaches in the future. At this point, it is too soon to tell what will happen with the dominant currency of the world and what will become of the standard for international trade. Personally, I do believe that giving a country's dollar some sort of back standard is a solid idea and brings back a sense of value, instead of violently printing money when things start to get scary. We'll have to wait and see what the next emerging dominant currency is, but I think for the time being, countries should more so focus on lowering inflation and helping deal with their own personal citizens' needs. In the end, international trade will be no good if the country itself is in shambles. This will be a topic that I'm sure will be in the news for years to come, and will be something that will be quite interesting and potentially drastic, I'd say, within the next 10 years and onward. It's impossible to know what the future holds, both proper diversification and just being aware of your surroundings and how the economic changes are occurring around you. I believe that, you know, as long as you got the right mindset, you'll be fine throughout all these changes. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys learned something new. Throw down in the comments below if you are interested in hearing more about the gold-backed standard and kind of the approach some of the BRICS countries are having for the reasoning behind this. As always, appreciate the support, and I'll check you guys in the next edit. Cheers.